Imagine a world on the brink of collapse. The year is around 170 AD, and the Roman Empire, once the unassailable colossus of the ancient world, is teetering under the weight of unrelenting chaos. Barbarian hordes surge across the northern frontiers, their war cries echoing through the frozen Danube valleys as they clash with Roman legions in brutal, unending campaigns. Plague ravages the heart of the empire. The Antonine Plague, a merciless scourge that claims millions, turning bustling cities into ghost towns, littered with the dead and dying. Economic turmoil grips the populace, with inflation spiraling and resources stretched thin. Political intrigue simmers in the shadows of the Forum, where whispers of betrayal and uprising threaten the very throne. At the center of this storm stands one man, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher, emperor, not a pampered ruler secluded in marble palaces, but a stoic warrior thrust into the fray. He spends years on the front lines, his tent pitched amid the mud and blood of the Marcomannic Wars, commanding armies, while grappling with the loss of his own children to disease and the betrayal of allies. His wife, Faustina, is rumored to plot against him, and his adopted brother and co-emperor, Lucius Verus, succumbs to the plague, leaving Marcus to shoulder the burden alone. Life, for Marcus, is not a serene philosophical discourse, but a relentless barrage of adversity. Yet, amid this turmoil, he remains unshaken. His mind, a fortress of calm, guides him through the tempest. How? Through ancient secrets rooted in Stoicism principles. He not only preached, but lived, etched into his private journal, Meditations, a timeless blueprint for enduring when everything falls apart. Today, in our modern world, we face our own versions of ancient chaos. Economic uncertainties loom like gathering storm clouds, with job losses and financial instability testing our resolve. Personal tragedies strike without warning: the sudden illness of a loved one, the end of a cherished relationship, or the weight of mental health struggles in an increasingly isolated society. Global events, from pandemics to geopolitical tensions, remind us that control is an illusion. But here's the empowering truth Marcus Aurelius discovered. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote, from his Meditations, isn't just poetic wisdom, it's a battle cry for reclaiming inner peace amid outer pandemonium. It's the foundation of Stoicism, a philosophy that doesn't promise to change the world, but equips you to thrive within it. In this video, we're diving deep into 7 ancient secrets. Marcus Aurelius used to stay calm when life fell apart. These aren't abstract theories. They're practical tools forged in the fires of real hardship. We'll explore each one, drawing from Marcus's own words, historical context, and actionable steps you can apply today, whether you're battling career setbacks, relationship turmoil, or the everyday grind that threatens to overwhelm. These secrets will arm you with the mental armor to face it all. By the end, you'll not only understand how a Roman emperor maintained his composure, but how you can do the same. Let's embark on this journey together, because true strength isn't about avoiding the storm, it's about becoming unbreakable within it. To set the stage, let's immerse ourselves in Marcus's world a bit more. Born in 121 AD into a noble Spanish family, Marcus was groomed for greatness from a young age. Adopted by Emperor Antoninus Pius, he ascended to the throne in 161 AD, inheriting an empire at its zenith, yet perilously close to decline. His reign, from 161 to 180 AD, was marked by what historians call the 5 Good Emperors era, But for Marcus, it was anything but easy. The Marcomannic Wars, 166–180 AD, pitted Rome against Germanic tribes like the Marcomanni and Quadi, forcing Marcus to lead from the battlefield. He endured harsh winters, supply shortages, and the constant threat of mutiny. Compounding this, the Antonine Plague, likely smallpox or measles, swept through the empire starting in 165 AD, killing up to a third of the population, including soldiers crucial to his campaigns. Imagine the psychological toll. As Emperor, Marcus bore responsibility for millions. Every decision could mean life or death. Yet, he didn't crumble. Instead, he turned inward, applying Stoic principles learned from his tutors, influenced by Epictetus, the former slave-turned-philosopher who taught that freedom lies in distinguishing what we can control from what we cannot. Marcus's meditations, written in Greek during quiet moments in his tent, weren't meant for publication, but as personal reflections. They reveal a man wrestling with doubt, grief, and anger, yet emerging victorious through disciplined thought. This resilience is what makes Marcus a beacon for us today. In a 2023 survey by the American Psychological Association, over 70% of Americans reported feeling overwhelmed by stress from work, finances, and health issues. Social media amplifies anxiety, bombarding us with comparisons and crises. But Stoicism, as embodied by Marcus, offers an antidote. It's not about suppressing emotions, but mastering them. It's about recognizing that while we can't control the plague or the barbarians, or in our case, the stock market crash, or the unexpected diagnosis, we can control our response. The core Stoic dichotomy of control, as Marcus articulated, is revolutionary. You have power over your mind, not outside events. This isn't resignation, it's empowerment. It shifts focus from futile resistance to proactive inner work. When life falls apart, as it did for Marcus repeatedly, this mindset becomes your lifeline. It reminds you that calm isn't the absence of trouble, but the presence of perspective. As we prepare to uncover the 7 secrets, consider this. Marcus didn't have modern therapy, mindfulness apps, or self-help books. He had philosophy, tested in the crucible of empire. These secrets: breathing deeply to anchor the soul, journaling to clarify the mind, observing thoughts like passing clouds, limiting expectations to avoid disillusionment, maintaining daily discipline as a ritual of strength, accepting impermanence as the rhythm of existence, and focusing on duty as the path to purpose were his arsenal. Each secret we'll explore isn't just historical trivia, it's a call to action. I'll share quotes from meditations, real examples from Marcus's life, and modern applications to make them relevant. For instance, think about how deep breathing, a technique Marcus likely used during tense negotiations with tribal leaders, mirrors today's practices in cognitive behavioral therapy for anxiety reduction. By embracing these, you're not just learning history, you're forging your own Stoic path. In a world that demands constant reaction, Marcus teaches us the power of thoughtful response. So, are you ready to harness the wisdom of an emperor? Let's begin with the first secret. But first, let this sink in. The chaos around you doesn't define you. Your mind does. Realize that power, and watch your world transform. Now, let's dive into the first ancient secret. Marcus Aurelius used to stay calm when life fell apart. Breathe deeply. In the midst of chaos, when the world seems to spiral out of control, this simple yet profound practice served as his anchor. It's not just about inhaling and exhaling. It's about reclaiming mastery over your body and mind in the face of overwhelming adversity. Marcus, enduring the relentless pressures of war and plague, understood that the breath is the bridge between the external storm and internal peace. As he wrote in Meditations, Book 8, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Deep breathing was his tool to revoke that distress, grounding him in the present and dissolving the grip of fear. Picture Marcus on the banks of the Danube, his legions clashing with the Marcomanni tribes in a brutal winter campaign. The air is thick with the clamor of battle swords clanging, men shouting, the wounded crying out. Exhaustion weighs on him like a lead cloak. News of the plague ravaging Rome arrives by messenger, claiming yet more lives, perhaps even those close to him. In such moments, panic could easily overtake even the strongest leader. But Marcus pause. He draws a deep breath, feeling the cold air fill his lungs, holding it briefly, then releasing it slowly. This act isn't mere survival, it's defiance. It's a deliberate choice to interrupt the cascade of anxious thoughts and return to equilibrium. Stoicism teaches that emotions arise from judgments, and by controlling the breath, you control the body's response, which in turn steadies the mind. This secret draws from the Stoic emphasis on living in accordance with nature. The breath is natural, automatic, yet controllable, much like our responses to life's upheavals. Epictetus, whose teachings profoundly influenced Marcus, likened the mind to a citadel that external events cannot breach unless we allow it. Deep breathing fortifies that citadel. In modern terms, science backs this up. Studies from institutions like Harvard Medical School show that deep diaphragmatic breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing cortisol levels and countering the fight-or-flight response. But for Marcus, it was intuitive wisdom, honed through practice during his campaigns. He didn't have labs or data, he had experience. When betrayal rumors swirled about his wife Faustina, or when his co-emperor Lucius Verus died suddenly, Marcus turned to his breath to process grief without letting it consume him. How did this play out in his daily life? Historical accounts from the Historia Augusta describe Marcus as a man of remarkable composure, even as he dealt with insurrections and natural disasters. During the Antonine Plague, which killed an estimated 5 million people across the empire, Marcus remained at the helm, issuing decrees for public health and burial rites while maintaining his own health through disciplined routines. Deep breathing likely formed part of his morning meditations, a ritual to prepare for the day's uncertainties. In Meditations, Book 4, he reflects, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions." Breathing deeply was his method to achieve that concentration, clearing the mental fog caused by empire-wide crises. Applying this to your life today, imagine you're facing a modern parallel, a high-stakes meeting where your job is on the line, or a family emergency that hits like a thunderbolt. Your heart races, thoughts spiral into worst-case scenarios. That's when you employ Marcus's secret. Start with the 4-7-8 technique, inspired by ancient practices. Inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 7, exhale through your mouth for 8. Repeat 4 times. This isn't magic, it's physiology at work, slowing your heart rate and signaling to your brain that you're safe. Marcus might not have counted precisely, but he understood the principle. Use the breath to interrupt reactive patterns. Take it further. Integrate deep breathing into your daily routine. As Marcus did, begin your morning with 5 minutes of focused breathing, visualizing the challenges ahead, and affirming your power over your responses. During stress peaks at work, in traffic, or amid arguments, pause and breathe. One Stoic exercise is the breath of acceptance. As you inhale, acknowledge the uncontrollable event. As you exhale, release attachment to it. This mirrors Marcus's approach during the Quadi uprising, where, according to legend, a miraculous rain saved his legions, yet he attributed survival not to gods, but to disciplined presence. The power here lies in consistency. Marcus didn't wait for crises. He practiced in quieter times, building resilience like a muscle. In our era of constant notifications and deadlines, this secret is revolutionary. A 2022 study in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that regular deep breathing reduces anxiety by up to 40% in participants facing chronic stress. But beyond data, it's about empowerment. When life falls apart, a layoff, a breakup, or health scare, deep breathing reminds you the external world may rage, but your inner world is yours to command. Marcus's life exemplifies this. Amid the Parthian War earlier in his reign, he faced logistical nightmares and troop morale issues, yet his letters and decisions reflect clarity. He breathed through the uncertainty, focusing on what he could influence: strategy, ethics, and self-control. In Meditations, Book 6, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Deep breathing ensures those thoughts remain quality, unclouded by panic. To make this actionable, here's a Stoic challenge. For the next week, set reminders thrice daily to practice deep breathing. Note how it shifts your perspective. Journal the before and after. How did the stressor feel initially? How, after breathing, this builds awareness, turning a secret into a habit. Remember, Marcus wasn't born calm. He cultivated it. You can too. As we move to the next secret, carry this with you. Breath is life, and controlling it is controlling your destiny. In the words of Marcus, realize your power over your mind, starting with each inhale. This ancient tool, used by an emperor in turmoil, is now yours to wield. Embrace it and watch calm emerge from chaos. Now, let's uncover the second ancient secret that kept Marcus Aurelius anchored in calm amid life's relentless upheavals. Journal your thoughts. In the flickering light of his campaign tent, far from the grandeur of Rome, Marcus didn't just endure chaos, he dissected it, word by word, through the act of writing. This practice wasn't a luxury, it was a lifeline, transforming turbulent emotions into clarity and wisdom. As he penned in Meditations, Book 2, the things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts. Journaling was his method to repaint that canvas, ensuring his mind remained resilient even as empires trembled. Envision Marcus during the height of the Marcomannic Wars, around 172 AD, surrounded by maps streaked with battle plans and reports of mounting casualties. The plague continues its grim harvest, claiming soldiers and civilians alike, while whispers of conspiracy reach him from the capital. Grief for his lost children, 8 of his 13 offspring died. Young lingers like a shadow. In these moments, when despair could have eroded his resolve, Marcus turns to his journal. He writes, not for posterity, but for personal reckoning, questioning his fears, examining his judgments, and reaffirming his principles. This habit, rooted in Stoic self-examination, allowed him to externalize inner turmoil, turning vague anxieties into manageable insights. It's a process Epictetus called prosoche, or attention, where one vigilantly monitors the mind like a sentinel. Journaling, for Marcus, was more than recording events. It was a dialogue with the self, a Stoic exercise in virtue. Influenced by his tutors, he viewed writing as a way to align actions with reason, stripping away illusions fostered by passion. In Meditations, scattered across 12 books, we see this in action, entries that grapple with mortality, duty, and equanimity. For instance, in Book 5, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born, for the things I was brought into the world to do. Such reflections weren't spontaneous. They emerged from habitual journaling, a practice that helped him rise above the immediate chaos of ruling an empire in crisis. Historically, this secret sustained him through profound trials. During the revolt of Avidius Cassius in 175 AD, a trusted general who declared himself emperor based on false rumors of Marcus's death. Betrayal cut deep. Yet, Marcus responded with measured mercy, offering forgiveness before Cassius was assassinated by his own men. How did he maintain such composure? Through journaling, he processed the sting of disloyalty, reminding himself of human frailty and the Stoic imperative to respond with justice rather than vengeance. Cassius Dio's Roman History notes Marcus's unflappable demeanor, attributing it to his philosophical discipline. Journaling was his forge, where raw emotions were hammered into ethical steel. In our contemporary landscape, where digital distractions amplify mental noise, this secret is a powerful counterforce. Think of the average American juggling work deadlines, family pressures, and the incessant pull of social media. A 2024 Gallup poll revealed that 55% of U.S. adults experience stress during a lot of the day, often from unexamined thoughts spiraling into anxiety. Journaling, as Marcus practiced, cuts through that fog. Modern psychology echoes this. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, uses journaling to challenge distorted thinking, much like Stoic impression testing. Research from the University of Rochester shows that expressive writing reduces stress hormones and improves emotional regulation, leading to better decision-making. To apply this today, start simple yet intentionally. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes each evening to a Stoic journal. Begin with Marcus's framework. Describe the day's events objectively. Then examine your reactions. Ask, what disturbed me? Was it the event or my judgment of it? What virtue can I apply next time? For example, if a heated argument at work leaves you rattled, write, the criticism stung, but it's not the words that harm. It's my attachment to praise. Tomorrow, focus on duty, not approval. This mirrors Marcus's entries during the plague, where he confronted mortality. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Meditations. Book 2. Make it a ritual. As Marcus did amid his nomadic life on the frontiers, use prompts inspired by his work. What am I grateful for, despite the chaos? Or, how can I act with wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation? In times of personal crisis, a financial setback or relationship strain, journaling becomes your Stoic compass. One technique is the evening review. Akin to Marcus's reflections, recap the day. Note successes in self-control and plan improvements. This builds what psychologists call metacognition, the awareness of one's thought processes, fostering calm by preventing rumination. The transformative power lies in persistence. Marcus wrote sporadically over years, compiling insights that outlasted his empire. You don't need eloquence. Raw honesty suffices. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that consistent journaling enhances resilience, with participants reporting 20% less emotional distress after 3 months. But for Stoics, it's about virtue over comfort. Journaling hones the soul, preparing you for life's inevitable falls. Challenge yourself. Commit to journaling for 30 days. Stoic style. Track how it shifts your responses to stress. Perhaps during a commute fraught with delays, instead of frustration, you'll recall a journaled insight. Delays are external. My patience is internal. This echoes Marcus facing supply shortages in war. He journaled on endurance, emerging stronger. As we transition to the next secret, remember, your thoughts shape your reality, and journaling is the chisel that refines them. Marcus, emperor and philosopher, used it to navigate collapse. You can use it to conquer your daily battles. Embrace this ancient tool and discover the calm that comes from self-mastery. Now, let's explore the third ancient secret Marcus Aurelius wielded to maintain calm when his world was crumbling. Observe your thoughts. This practice isn't about suppressing the mind's chatter, but watching it with detached curiosity, like a philosopher observing the ebb and flow of a river. In the throes of empire-shaking crises, Marcus used this technique to disentangle himself from destructive impulses, ensuring his actions stemmed from reason rather than reaction. As he insightfully noted in Meditations, Book 7, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By observing those thoughts without judgment, he prevented them from staining his composure, turning potential turmoil into opportunities for growth. Transport yourself to the Roman frontiers in 177 AD, where Marcus faces yet another onslaught. The Quadi and Sarmatians press their attacks. Roman supply lines falter under relentless raids, and the emperor's health wanes from years of campaigning. Back in Rome, political factions scheme, fueled by rumors of his impending death. Amid this, personal sorrow strikes another child lost to illness, compounding the grief of previous bereavements. Thoughts of futility, anger, and despair assail him. Why persist in this endless struggle? But Marcus pause. He observes these thoughts as transient visitors, not defining truths. This Stoic detachment, inspired by Epictetus's teachings on impressions, allowed him to question, is this thought accurate, useful, aligned with virtue? By doing so, he reclaimed agency, responding to chaos with deliberate wisdom rather than knee-jerk emotion. At its core, observing thoughts embodies the Stoic distinction between what happens and how we interpret it. Marcus viewed the mind as a theater where impressions play out, but we choose whether to applaud or dismiss them. In Meditations, Book 4, he advises, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This secret empowered him to observe harmful narratives, fear of failure during military setbacks or bitterness over betrayals, and let them pass without attachment. It's akin to mindfulness in Eastern traditions, but stoically framed as rational vigilance. Epictetus, whom Marcus revered, emphasized, it's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Observing thoughts interrupts that disturbance, fostering a calm that endures external storms. Historically, this practice shone during one of Marcus's darkest hours, the aftermath of the Antonine Plague's peak in the late 162nd AD, with bodies piling in the streets and his legions decimated. Despair could have overwhelmed him. Yet, accounts from Herodian describe Marcus as steadfast, issuing rational edicts for quarantine and aid while maintaining philosophical poise. He observed thoughts of helplessness, recognizing them as mere mental constructs, not reality. This detachment enabled strategic decisions like recruiting gladiators and barbarians into the army to bolster forces. Without it, panic might have led to rash actions. Instead, observation bred resilience, helping Rome survive the crisis. In today's fast-paced world, where information overload fuels anxiety, this secret is a vital shield. Consider the modern American navigating economic volatility, rising inflation, job insecurity, or the mental toll of remote work isolation. A 2023 report from the National Institute of Mental Health indicates that over 21% of U.S. adults suffer from anxiety disorders, often exacerbated by unchecked rumination. Observing thoughts counters this by promoting metacognition, the awareness of one's cognitive processes. Neuroscience supports it. fMRI studies from Yale University show that mindfulness-based observation reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, while enhancing prefrontal cortex function for better emotional regulation. To harness this in your life, begin with a simple Stoic exercise, the Thought Watch. Set aside 5 minutes daily, perhaps during a commute or before bed. Sit quietly and note arising thoughts without engagement. Label them as planning, worrying, judging. If a stressful event triggers negativity, like a conflict with a colleague, observe. Here comes anger at their words. Then ask Marcus-style questions. Does this serve me? What would virtue dictate? This mirrors his reflections during the Parthian War victories, where he observed prideful thoughts and redirected them toward humility. What is it in us that receives impressions? The understanding. What is it that feels pain and pleasure? The understanding. Meditations. Book 12. Elevate it further with the cloud-gazing analogy. A Stoic visualization. Imagine thoughts as clouds drifting across your mind's sky. You are the unchanging sky, not the clouds. When life falls apart, a diagnosis, financial loss, or relational betrayal, observe the storm clouds of fear without identifying with them. Practice in real time. During a heated moment, breathe, tying back to our first secret. Then observe the thought stream. Journal the observations, linking to the second secret for deeper insight. This builds what psychologists term cognitive diffusion, separating self from thoughts, reducing their power by up to 30%, according to a meta-analysis in behavior research and therapy. The beauty of this secret lies in its accessibility, no tools required, just intentional awareness. Marcus practiced it amid the din of battle, proving it's feasible in any circumstance. During the 175 AD usurpation attempt by Avidius Cassius, he observed vengeful impulses, choosing forgiveness instead. As recorded in the Scriptores Historiae Augustae, this not only preserved his calm, but exemplified Stoic justice, inspiring loyalty. Challenge yourself. For the next 7 days, observe thoughts thrice daily: morning, midday, evening. Note patterns. Do certain triggers recur? How does observation alter your response? In a world bombarding us with stimuli, this cultivates inner sovereignty. As Marcus endured the empire's fractures, you can weather personal ones, emerging stronger. Remember, thoughts are not you. They are events in the mind. Observe them, and you gain the power to choose. This ancient secret, forged in an emperor's trials, equips you to face modern chaos with unyielding calm. Let it transform your perspective, one observed thought at a time. Now, let's delve into the fourth ancient secret that empowered Marcus Aurelius to preserve his inner calm amid the relentless disintegration of his world. Limit your expectations. In a life besieged by unpredictable wars, betrayals, and losses, Marcus understood that unchecked hopes were the seeds of suffering. By tempering what he anticipated from life, people, and circumstances, he shielded his mind from the sharp edges of disappointment. As he wisely reflected in Meditations, Book 8, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. This wasn't cynicism, but pragmatic wisdom, a deliberate strategy to expect less from the external world, freeing him to focus on his own virtuous responses. Limiting expectations transformed potential heartbreaks into mere events, allowing calm to prevail. Step back into the turbulent year of 169 AD. As Marcus grapples with the sudden death of his co-emperor and adopted brother, Lucius Verus, felled by the plague, en route from the Parthian front. This loss not only doubled Marcus's burdens, but exposed the fragility of alliances he might have expected to endure. Meanwhile, the Germanic tribes exploit the empire's vulnerabilities, launching fiercer incursions that stretch Roman resources to breaking point. Economic strains mount, with debased currency fueling inflation, and public morale plummets as the plague's toll climbs. Marcus could have expected loyalty from his subjects, victory in battles, or even basic health for his family, yet he didn't. Instead, he limited those expectations, viewing them as illusions that amplify pain. This Stoic restraint, drawn from the teachings of Zeno and Chrysippus, emphasized preparing for the worst while striving for the best, ensuring that adversity didn't shatter his equanimity. At the heart of this secret lies the Stoic concept of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, anticipating misfortunes not to foster dread, but to diminish their sting when they arrive. Marcus didn't naively hope for smooth sailing. He expected turbulence, as evidenced in Meditations. Book 11. Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to picture everything bad that could possibly happen. Stick with the situation at hand and ask, why is this so unbearable? Why can't I endure it? You'll be embarrassed to answer. By limiting expectations to what was probable rather than ideal, he avoided the emotional whiplash of dashed dreams. This approach contrasted with the Epicurean's pursuit of pleasure, but aligned with Stoicism's call to virtue, where true happiness stems from internal control, not external outcomes. In historical context, this secret proved invaluable during the catastrophic flooding of the Tiber River in the 172nd AD, which devastated Rome's granaries and exacerbated famine amid ongoing wars. Marcus, already stretched thin on the Danube, received pleas for aid but expected delays and inefficiencies in response efforts. Rather than raging against the inevitable bureaucratic snags or natural disasters, he limited his expectations to human fallibility, channeling energy into practical solutions like rationing and relief distributions. The Augustan history praises his unflinching leadership, noting how he sold imperial treasures to fund recovery without resentment. By expecting imperfection from weather, subordinates, or fate, he maintained calm, making decisions rooted in reason rather than frustration. Fast forward to our era, where inflated expectations fuel widespread discontent. In the United States, A 2024 Pew Research Center survey found that 60% of adults feel let down by unfulfilled career or relationship goals, often leading to burnout and anxiety. Social media exacerbates this, showcasing curated successes that set unrealistic benchmarks, limiting expectations. As Marcus did, acts as a Stoic antidote. Psychology validates it through defensive pessimism, a strategy where anticipating obstacles enhances preparedness and reduces disappointment. A study in the Journal of Positive Psychology revealed that individuals who practice tempered optimism report 25% lower stress levels during setbacks, echoing Marcus's resilience. To integrate this into your daily life, start with morning premeditation, a ritual Marcus likely employed before dawn briefings. Upon waking, list potential challenges. Traffic might delay you. Colleagues could underperform, or plan might shift. Expect them not with gloom, but neutrality. Remind yourself, these are possibilities, not certainties, and my response is what matters. For bigger life arenas, like job interviews or family gatherings, limit expectations to effort over outcome. I'll prepare thoroughly, but success isn't guaranteed. This shifts focus from uncontrollable results to controllable actions, fostering calm. When disappointment strikes, a promotion denied, or a friendship strained, pause and reflect. Did I expect too much? How can I adjust? Deepen the practice with Stoic expectation audits. Weekly, review past letdowns. What expectations fueled the pain? Revise them downward for realism. For instance, in relationships, expect occasional misunderstandings rather than perpetual harmony. As Marcus did with his reportedly unfaithful wife, Faustina, he focused on his duty as husband, not her perfection. In Meditations, Book 1, he thanks the gods for a wife so obedient, so affectionate, so straightforward. Yet historical rumors suggest otherwise. His limited expectations preserved his peace. This secret's power amplifies in crises. During a health scare or financial dip, expect hurdles in recovery bureaucracy, setbacks without despair. A 2022 Harvard Business Review article on resilience highlights how executives who limit outcome expectations navigate volatility better. Much like Marcus during the Marcomannic Wars' stalemates, he expected prolonged conflict, writing in Book 9, "Adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast, and love sincerely the fellow creatures with whom destiny has ordained that you shall live." This acceptance bred endurance. Challenge yourself. For the coming month, track 3 daily expectations and intentionally lower them. Note the resulting calm, perhaps in parenting, where expecting flawless behavior leads to frustration. Limit to guiding with patience. Tie it to previous secrets. Breathe through rising expectations. Journal them for scrutiny. Observe them as fleeting. This holistic approach builds unbreakable stoicism. Ultimately, limiting expectations isn't resignation, it's liberation. Marcus ruled an empire on the brink without being ruled by hope's tyranny. You, too, can face modern chaos with similar fortitude. Embrace this secret and discover that true calm arises when you expect less from the world and more from yourself. Now, let's reveal the 5th ancient secret that fortified Marcus Aurelius's calm in the face of life's unyielding assaults. Maintain daily discipline. Amid the swirling vortices of war, disease, and imperial decay, Marcus didn't rely on fleeting motivation or external validation. He built an unbreakable routine of small, consistent actions that anchored his soul. This discipline wasn't drudgery, but a sacred ritual, a deliberate forging of character that turned chaos into opportunity. As he articulated in Meditations, Book 5, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it, and it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now." Daily discipline was his means to exercise that power, cultivating habits that sustained virtue and serenity, no matter the empire's fractures. Envision Marcus, in the harsh winters of 171 AD, encamped along the frozen Danube, where blizzards howl and barbarian raids test the limits of endurance. His body aches from years of campaigning. Reports from Rome detail the plague's ongoing ravages. Economic collapse looms with depleted treasuries, and the weight of solitary rule presses heavily since Lucius Verus's death. Temptations abound to slacken in resolve, to indulge in despair or luxury. Yet, Marcus rises at dawn, adhering to his regimen, physical exercises to steel the body, philosophical readings to sharpen the mind, and administrative duties executed with precision. This daily discipline, inspired by Stoic forebears like Musonius Rufus, who taught that true freedom comes from self-mastery, kept him grounded. It transformed the unpredictable into the predictable, providing a framework where calm could flourish even as battles raged. This secret embodies the Stoic ethos of ascesis, or training, where life is viewed as a gymnasium for the soul. Marcus believed discipline bridged the gap between intention and action, preventing the mind from being hijacked by whims. In Meditations, Book 2, he reminds himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be." B1. Daily routines were his battlefield for becoming that good man. Simple acts like moderate eating, ethical decision-making, and reflective pauses amid the frenzy. Unlike the hedonistic pursuits of his era's elite, Marcus's discipline focused on eudaimonia, or flourishing through virtue, ensuring that external upheavals couldn't erode his inner citadel. Historically, this practice was his bulwark during the protracted Marcomannic Wars, culminating in tentative peace by 175 AD. Amid sieges and skirmishes, Marcus maintained discipline in governance, issuing coins to stabilize the economy, reforming laws for justice, and personally overseeing troop training despite his ailing health. Cassius Dio recounts how, even as rheumatism plagued him, Marcus persisted in his duties, attributing his perseverance to habitual self-control. When faced with the 172 AD miracle of the rain, a storm that allegedly saved his parched legions, Marcus didn't credit divine intervention alone, but his disciplined preparation, which positioned his forces resiliently. This routine not only preserved his calm, but inspired his soldiers, turning a beleaguered army into a cohesive force. In the modern American context, where distractions fragment focus and stress erodes well-being, maintaining daily discipline is a potent elixir. A 2024 CDC report highlights that 40% of U.S. adults struggle with chronic fatigue from irregular routines, exacerbated by work-life imbalances and digital overload. Stoic discipline counters this by fostering habit stacking, where small wins compound into profound resilience. Behavioral science affirms it. James Clear's Atomic Habits draws on similar principles, noting that consistent routines rewire neural pathways, reducing decision fatigue by 20 to 30%, according to studies in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. For Marcus, it was about aligning with nature's rhythms. Today, it's a shield against the chaos of deadlines, family demands, and societal pressures. To embody this secret, craft a Stoic daily regimen tailored to your life. Starting small yet unyieldingly. Begin with Marcus's morning meditation. Upon waking, affirm your purpose. Today, I will act with discipline, facing what comes with courage. Follow with physical discipline, a 20-minute walk or exercise, echoing Marcus's frontier marches, to invigorate the body and clear the mind. Incorporate intellectual habits. Read a page from Meditations or a Stoic text. Then journal, linking to our second secret key: insights. Throughout the day, enforce boundaries, limit screen time, eat mindfully, and tackle tasks methodically, observing thoughts. Third, secret that tempt deviation. End with an evening review. What disciplined actions served me? Where did I falter? And how to correct? Amplify it during turmoil. If a career crisis hits, like a demotion or layoff, lean on discipline. Rise early to network. Breathe deeply first. Secret through anxiety and limit expectations. Fourth, secret of quick fixes. This creates momentum. A study from Duke University shows that disciplined individuals recover from setbacks 35% faster by maintaining routines that build self-efficacy. Marcus applied this amid personal losses, grieving his children's deaths. He disciplined his emotions, channeling energy into imperial reforms rather than withdrawal. The essence is consistency over intensity. Marcus didn't overhaul his life overnight. He built discipline incrementally, as seen in his gradual adoption of vegetarianism for health and ethics. Challenge yourself. Design a 21-day Stoic discipline plan. Track one habit daily, perhaps delayed gratification, like postponing non-essential emails. Note its ripple effects on calm. Does routine reduce reactivity? In relationships strained by conflict, discipline in listening without interruption fosters harmony, mirroring Marcus's patient dealings with fractious senators. This secret's true gift is autonomy. Discipline makes you the architect of your fate, not its victim. As the empire teetered, Marcus's routines ensured he led with clarity, leaving a legacy of wisdom. You, facing contemporary storms, can forge similar strength. Maintain daily discipline and watch calm become your default, unshakable amid life's tempests. Now, let's illuminate the sixth ancient secret that anchored Marcus Aurelius's unyielding calm as his life and empire unraveled. Accept impermanence. In a world where nothing lasts, empires rise and fall, loved ones depart, victories fade into memory. Marcus embraced this truth, not as a source of despair, but as a liberating force. By accepting the fleeting nature of all things, he freed himself from the chains of attachment, allowing peace to flow even through the rivers of change. As he profoundly stated in Meditations, Book 2, time is a sort of river of passing events, and strong is its current. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by, and another takes its place, and this too will be swept away. This acceptance wasn't passive surrender, but active wisdom, a Stoic shield that turned the inevitability of loss into a catalyst for mindful living and inner tranquility. Immerse yourself in the waning years of Marcus's reign, around 178 AD. As the Marcomannic Wars drag on with no end in sight, the once mighty Roman legions, battered by years of conflict and the lingering plague, face renewed threats from the Iazyges and other tribes. Marcus's own body betrays him chronic illnesses, possibly including the plague itself, weaken him, foreshadowing his death. Just 2 years later, personal impermanence haunts him. His beloved son Commodus, the heir apparent, shows signs of the instability that will later doom the empire, while memories of deceased children and his wife Faustina, who died in 175 AD, evoke quiet grief. Fortunes shift unpredictably, alliances fracture, harvests fail due to war-disrupted agriculture, and the empire's golden age teeters on the brink of the crises that will follow. Yet, Marcus accepts it all. He doesn't rail against the transience, he integrates it, using it to prioritize the eternal, virtue, reason, and duty. This Stoic acceptance, rooted in Heraclitus's philosophy of flux that influenced early Stoics like Zeno, reminded him that clinging to permanence only amplifies suffering. This secret captures the Stoic doctrine of amor fati, or love of fate, embracing what is, including its ephemerality. As part of nature's grand design, Marcus saw impermanence not as cruelty, but as the universe's rhythm, urging us to live fully in the present without futile resistance. In Meditations, Book 4, he muses, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." By accepting this, he dissolved the fear that arises from attachment to power, health, or outcomes, allowing calm to emerge from acceptance. Unlike the fatalism of other schools, Stoicism pairs this with action. Accept what's beyond control, but act virtuously on what isn't. For Marcus, impermanence, heightened appreciation for the now, transforming grief into gratitude and uncertainty into opportunity. In the annals of history, this acceptance was Marcus's quiet superpower during his final campaigns. As the wars intensified, leading to the hard-won peace treaties of 179 AD, he witnessed the impermanence of military gains. Territories seized one day, contested the next. The death of key generals and the empire's financial hemorrhaging from endless expenditures could have bred bitterness, but Marcus accepted them as the flow of time. Fronto's letters to Marcus reveal his philosophical resolve, where he counsels acceptance amid personal ailments. Everything human is smoke, nothing at all. This mindset enabled him to draft the Meditations' later books, profound reflections born from embracing endings. Even as Commodus's flaws became evident, Marcus accepted the impermanence of his legacy, focusing on mentoring rather than forcing an unattainable ideal. His death in 180 AD at Vindobona, modern Vienna, likely from the plague, exemplified this. He met it with equanimity, advising his guards, "Weep not for me, but for those who remain." In our contemporary era, where change accelerates at dizzying speeds, accepting impermanence is a vital Stoic balm for the soul. Americans today grapple with rapid upheavals, job markets disrupted by AI and automation, relationships strained by social shifts, and health uncertainties amplified by global events like pandemics. A 2024 American Psychological Association survey found that 75% of adults cite fear of change as a major stressor, leading to anxiety and depression. Yet, Stoicism's embrace of impermanence offers relief. Mindfulness research from the University of California, Berkeley, shows that practices fostering acceptance reduce rumination by 28%, enhancing emotional well-being. By viewing life as transient, we loosen the grip of loss, turning it into a teacher rather than a tormentor. To weave this secret into your existence, begin with daily memento mori reflections, a Stoic staple Marcus employed. Each morning, remind yourself, "This day could be my last. Let me live it with purpose." Visualize impermanence. Picture cherished possessions fading, relationships evolving, success passing, This isn't morbid, it's motivating, urging you to cherish the present. During transitions, a move, career shift, or loss, practice acceptance, affirmations. This too shall pass. What virtue can I cultivate here? Tie it to breathing first, secret. Inhale, the moment. Exhale, attachment. Journal second, secret impermanent experiences. Observing third, secret clinging thoughts. Limiting expectations. Fourth, secret of permanence and maintaining discipline. Fifth secret, amid flux. Elevate it with the river meditation. Sit by water or imagine Marcus's metaphorical river, watching thoughts and events flow by without grasping. In crisis, like a breakup or diagnosis, accept the change. This is nature's course. My role is to respond with wisdom. A study in the Journal of Happiness Studies indicates that such acceptance boosts life satisfaction by 22%, as it redirects energy from resistance to growth. Marcus did this with his family's tragedies, accepting child mortality rates of his era. He channeled sorrow into compassionate rule, enacting reforms for orphans and the poor. The profound impact is liberation from fear. Marcus accepted the empire's potential decline, writing in Book 10, "All things are the same, familiar in experience, transient in time, sordid in substance." This freed him to govern justly, unburdened by legacy, anxiety. You can apply it to modern fears. Accept job impermanence by skill building. Embrace relational changes with open-hearted communication. Challenge yourself. For 2 weeks, note 3 impermanent aspects: daily weather, moods, news, and practice acceptance. Track how it fosters calm. Does worry diminish? In parenting, accept children's independence. In work, view projects as temporary. This secret's essence is empowerment. Impermanence strips illusions, revealing life's true value in the now. As Marcus navigated his era's endings, you can traverse yours with grace. Accept the flux, and calm becomes your constant companion, unbreakable in the dance of change. Now, let's unveil the 7th and final ancient secret that sustained Marcus Aurelius's profound calm as the pillars of his existence crumbled. Focus on your duty. In the maelstrom of imperial responsibilities, personal tragedies, and unending conflicts, Marcus didn't chase happiness through pleasure or avoidance. He zeroed in on his role, his purpose, the tasks demanded by virtue and circumstance. This unwavering commitment to duty wasn't burdensome obligation, but a guiding star, illuminating a path through darkness and ensuring that external chaos couldn't derail his inner harmony. As he eloquently captured in Meditations, Book 6, "Do the things external which fall upon thee distract thee. Give thyself time to learn something new and good, and cease to be whirled around. But then thou must also avoid being carried about the other way. For those too are triflers who have wearied themselves in life by their activity, and yet have no object to which to direct every movement." Focusing on duty provided that object, channeling energy productively, and fostering a calm born from purposeful action rather than futile resistance. Picture Marcus in his final days, 179 to 180 AD, on the northern frontiers, where the air bites with the chill of impending winter and the scent of campfires mingles with the iron tang of blood. The Marcomannic Wars, after over a decade, yield fragile truces, but threats from the Sarmatians and Quadi persist, demanding constant vigilance. His health deteriorates rapidly, chest pains, exhaustion, and the plague's shadow loom, signaling the end is near. Commodus, his son, and successor, displays troubling signs of incompetence, foretelling the empire's slide into turmoil. Amid this, Marcus could have withdrawn into regret or self-pity, lamenting the unfairness of a life devoted to service, yet rewarded with ceaseless strife. Instead, he focuses on duty, drafting treaties, mentoring Commodus, reforming the military, and penning reflections to guide future generations. This Stoic devotion, echoing Seneca's emphasis on fulfilling one's role in the cosmic order, insulated him from despair. Duty became his anchor, reminding him that while outcomes elude control, effort and integrity do not. This secret encapsulates the Stoic principle of oikeiosis, or appropriation, aligning oneself with nature's rational plan, where each person has a part to play like actors in a divine drama. Marcus viewed duty not as societal imposition, but as self-fulfillment, the essence of a life well lived. In Meditations, Book 3, he urges, labor, not unwillingly, nor without regard to the common interest, nor without due examination, nor with distractions, nor let studied ornament set off thy thoughts, and be not either a man of many words, or busy about too many things. By focusing on duty, he pruned distractions, cultivating calm through singular purpose. This contrasted with the era's corrupt officials who pursued personal gain. Marcus's duty-driven life modeled virtue, turning personal and political tempests into arenas for ethical excellence. Historically, this focus shone brightest in Marcus's handling of the empire's twilight crises. As the wars concluded with partial victories in 179 AD, he prioritized duty over triumph, resettling barbarians as allies, bolstering defenses, and addressing domestic woes like slavery reforms and gladiatorial regulations, even on his deathbed in Vindobona. As detailed by Dio Cassius, Marcus's last words emphasized duty. He instructed Commodus on governance and his officers on perseverance, accepting mortality without faltering in his role. When the plague claimed his family and legions, he didn't mourn idly, but doubled efforts in public health decrees and philosophical teachings. This duty-centric approach not only preserved his calm, but stabilized Rome during its most precarious phase, delaying the decline that accelerated under Commodus. In today's America, where purpose often feels eclipsed by consumerism and distraction, focusing on duty is a revolutionary act of reclaiming agency. A 2024 Harvard Grant study update reveals that 68% of adults report feeling unfulfilled due to misaligned priorities, contributing to rising burnout and mental health challenges. Social pressures, endless scrolling, career ladders, family expectations scatter focus, breeding anxiety. Stoicism's call to duty counters this by redirecting attention to core roles. As a professional, parent, citizen, or friend, what is your essential contribution? Psychological research from the University of Pennsylvania supports it. Purpose-driven individuals exhibit 30% greater resilience to stress, as duty provides, meaning that buffers against adversity. Marcus's example shows that duty isn't about perfection, but persistence doing what's required with integrity, regardless of recognition. To activate this secret in your life, identify your duties clearly, starting with a Stoic role audit. List your key roles: worker, family member, community participant, and define actionable duties within each. At work, deliver excellence without attachment to praise. At home, support loved ones through presence, not control. Emulate Marcus's frontier discipline amid daily chaos. Ask, what is my duty now? During overwhelm, A demanding boss or family crisis? Breathe deeply. First secret. Journal the duty at hand. Second, observe distracting thoughts. Third, limit expectations of ease. Fourth, maintain disciplined focus. Fifth, and accept the impermanence of results. Sixth, this integration amplifies calm, turning fragmented energy into directed flow. Deepen it with the duty compass exercise. Each evening, review actions against duty. Did they align? Adjust for tomorrow. In personal setbacks, like unemployment or illness, focus on micro-duties, learning a skill, caring for health, helping others. This mirrors Marcus during betrayals, such as Avidius Cassius's rebellion. He fulfilled his duty as merciful ruler, forgiving where possible, without vengeance derailing him. A study in the Journal of Applied Psychology found that duty-oriented mindsets enhance job satisfaction by 25% as they foster intrinsic motivation over external rewards. The transformative force here is simplicity. Duty cuts through noise, offering clarity in confusion. Marcus didn't seek escape from his burdens. He embraced them as his path, writing in Book 7, "Every moment think steadily as a Roman and a man, to do what thou hast in hand with perfect and simple dignity, and feeling of affection, and freedom, and justice, and to give thyself relief from all other thoughts." In relationships frayed by conflict, duty means communicating honestly. In societal issues like inequality, it means ethical engagement. Challenge yourself. For the next month, dedicate 1 hour daily to a neglected duty: volunteering, skill building, or family time. Track the calm it brings. Does purpose eclipse worry? In parenting challenges, focus on guiding rather than controlling outcomes. In career slumps, on diligent effort. This final secret crowns the others, weaving them into a cohesive Stoic tapestry. By focusing on duty, Marcus not only stayed calm, but lived immortally through his legacy. You, confronting modern life's fractures, can achieve the same duty as your beacon, illuminating peace amid the storm. With these 7 secrets in hand, you're equipped to face whatever comes, unbreakable in spirit. As we reach the culmination of our journey through the 7 ancient secrets Marcus Aurelius employed to stay calm when life fell apart, let's pause and reflect on the profound wisdom we've uncovered. From the chaos of the Roman Empire's frontiers to the quiet battles within our own minds today, these principles breathe deeply. Journal your thoughts. Observe your thoughts. Limit your expectations. Maintain daily discipline. Accept impermanence. And focus on your duty. Form a timeless arsenal for resilience. Marcus didn't inherit his calm. He forged it, day by day, amid wars that claimed legions, plagues that stole loved ones, and an empire teetering on the edge of oblivion. His meditations stand as a testament, a private dialogue turned universal guide, reminding us that true power lies not in conquering the world, but in mastering ourselves. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This opening quote isn't just an echo from antiquity, it's a rallying cry for you, here and now, to reclaim that power and transform your life. Let's revisit these secrets, weaving them together into a cohesive Stoic framework that you can carry forward. First, breathe deeply. In the heat of crisis, when anxiety surges like a barbarian horde, this anchors you to the present, activating your body's natural calm and interrupting the spiral of fear. Marcus used it on blood-soaked battlefields. You can use it in boardrooms or bedrooms, turning panic into poise. Second, journal your thoughts. By committing your inner world to paper, you dissect illusion, clarify judgments, and align with virtue. Just as Marcus did in his tent under starlit skies, this practice turns mental fog into crystal clarity, empowering you to navigate modern stresses like financial woes or relational rifts with deliberate insight. Third, observe your thoughts. Like a sentinel on Rome's walls, watch your mind's impressions without entanglement, questioning their truth and utility. This detachment, honed by Marcus amid betrayals and losses, prevents emotions from dictating actions, fostering a calm that modern psychology confirms through reduced amygdala activity. Fourth, limit your expectations by anticipating human flaws and life's unpredictability. You shield yourself from disappointment's sting, as Marcus did when floods ravaged Rome or allies faltered. This isn't pessimism but preparation, allowing you to thrive in an era of inflated social media ideals and economic volatility. Fifth, maintain daily discipline. Through consistent routines, you build an inner fortress, unassailable by chaos. Marcus's dawn rituals sustained him through endless campaigns. Your habits, exercise, reading, reflection can fortify you against the grind of daily life, compounding small wins into unbreakable strength. Sixth, accept impermanence. Embrace the river of change, loving fate as it flows, and you'll dissolve attachment's pain. Marcus faced the transience of empire and family with grace. In our world of rapid shifts, jobs lost, relationships evolved, this acceptance turns endings into beginnings, infusing existence with gratitude and presence. Finally, focus on your duty. Anchor your actions in purpose, fulfilling your roles with integrity, and distractions fade. Marcus's devotion to governance amid decline exemplified this. For you, it means showing up as a parent, professional, or citizen, directing energy where it counts, and deriving calm from meaningful contribution. Together, these secrets interlock. Breathing steadies observation. Journaling informs discipline. Limited expectations ease acceptance, and duty ties it all to virtuous living. They're not isolated tactics, but a holistic philosophy, Stoicism, in action, practical, empowering, and eternally relevant. Now, consider the impact if you integrate these into your life. Imagine facing a layoff, not with dread, but by breathing through the shock, observing fearful thoughts, journaling for clarity, limiting expectations of quick recovery, disciplining your job search, accepting the change as impermanent, and focusing on your duty to adapt and provide. Or navigating a health crisis, accept its fleeting nature, discipline your recovery routine, observe pain without amplification, and fulfill your duty to heal and support others. These aren't hypothetical, they're proven paths, walked by Marcus, who ruled wisely despite unrelenting adversity, leaving a legacy that inspires millions centuries later. But knowledge alone isn't enough. Stoicism demands practice. Start small. Choose one secret today. Perhaps breathe deeply during your commute, or journal. Tonight's reflections build from there, layering them like bricks in a Roman aqueduct, channeling calm through life's torrents. Challenge yourself to a 30-day Stoic immersion. Each week, emphasis 2 secrets. Tracking progress in a dedicated notebook. Share your journey perhaps in a community or with a friend, mirroring how Marcus's writings influenced his circle. Remember, setbacks are inevitable. Marcus stumbled too, wrestling with doubt in his meditations. Yet he persisted, realizing that calm isn't perfection but perseverance. In our modern landscape, where 70% of Americans battle chronic stress per recent surveys, these secrets offer more than survival. They promise thriving. They remind us that life's falls aren't failures, but forges for the soul. Marcus Aurelius, the last of the 5 good emperors, didn't conquer chaos by force, but by philosophy, proving that an ordinary man for emperor, though he saw himself as human, can achieve extraordinary equanimity. You possess the same potential. The world may fall apart, markets crash, relationships fracture, health wavers, but your mind need not realize your power over it. As Marcus urged, and strength will follow. As we conclude, let this be your call to action. Step into the arena of your life armed with these 7 secrets. Embrace Stoicism not as ancient relic, but living fire, igniting purpose amid ashes. Marcus' era ended, but his wisdom endures, inviting you to build an inner empire, unbreakable by fate. Begin today, breathe, journal, observe, limit, discipline, accept, and focus. In doing so, you'll not only stay calm when life falls apart, you'll rise, resilient, ready for whatever dawn brings. The philosopher emperor would approve. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Be that person. Your Stoic journey starts now.